Hello, my name is Julienne. I'm here with my mom, Justine Stock. She is one of the owners of New Cannon Theater, and she also works at a production company. So, why do we get into that? What do you do on a daily basis as a producer?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Um, this has been a total dream of mine to sit here in the KSPB studio and share some of my story. A day in the life of a producer. Yes, I am the managing director and co founder of New Cannon Theater Company. It's a professional theater company, nonprofit based in the Monterey Bay area. And I also own my own production company called J Stock Productions. Hey, you know. I just started that company actually with the goal of producing intimate theater, but also independent filmmaking, which is what I used to do when I lived in New York. And I miss it so much. Okay, what's a day in the life of? Well, coffee is the first thing that one needs. And then a lot of risk taking and I would say an iron stomach. And what does that mean? Being in the art world and trying to, of course, fundraise, convince people to give you money because the arts matter so very much and do change lives and makes a difference in this world. And that's a major aspect of it. Connecting to the community, so meeting your community members where they are, and trying to inspire and penetrate those communities with beautiful, fantastic art. And that's really what I do. I make calls to our various donors. I meet with arts leaders and see how we can come together to create a production of a sort. So for Black History Month, New Cannon Theater Company and an organization called Black Leaders and Allies, we came together and we did a show called Smote This, a comedy about God and other serious shit. And that was created by a dear friend of mine, my best friend, who wrote it and premiered it at Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is a very, very famous festival. And so
My other question is, since being a nonprofit, how do you fundraise, gain funding, and kind of spread the word?
that's a great question. Fundraising it ain't easy. And of course, building your, we'll say, your group of folks that you can ask money from, that's also an art in and of itself. Okay, so how do you fundraise? Well, getting the word out there about your organization and why you are of value to the community and telling your story is really, really important. So using social media and newsletters and a lot of free tactics to get the word out and tell people what you need. Don't be afraid. That's the other thing. Asking for money, people don't love to do that. It took me a while to get used to being like, hey, what we're doing is really important. Here's why, and we need money to do it. And you can't make art, you can't do anything without funding, especially productions that cost more money than you think when it comes to theater and film.
Thank you so much for that. What role do you play in the creative process?
Ooh, that's my favorite part is the creative process because I'm an actor originally. I've been acting since I was 8 years old. And so, what role do I play in the creative process? Well, as a producer, a lot of the times the producer will hire the creative people. So that's the director and kind of have a say in the casting process. So that's the producer role. And I try not to step on toes of people that I do hire and want to work with because I trust them, because they're the experts and we want to communicate their vision. I love to collaborate on the initial vision of the thing. So, I always say I'm a dog with a bone. Like if I've got an idea and I know some really talented people in this world, I'm very grateful for that, who I've known for a long time, and collaborating with them, I trust them. And I share the concept of what I'm thinking that I want to produce, that I want to be a part of and give energy and money and time to. And then we just build on that, and it's beautiful snowball of creativity. And then as an actor, in terms of the creative process, I show up. I show up with a head full of ideas and really ready to work and work hopefully with people with that same type of work ethic and leave the drama on the stage, honey.
I love that. I love that. For J Stock Productions, I'm assuming that's by yourself, but New Canon, are you with anybody else? Any collaborators on that?
In terms of, so I can understand the question a little better, is New Canon collaborating? Is that what you're asking?
Is it a collaborative kind of business, I guess? Yeah.
Absolutely. Any production company is a collaborative business.
Partners in a way.
Yes. New Canon, there are two founders, myself and the artistic director, excuse me, Justin Gordon. And together we play our roles in telling New Canon's story and then bringing the work to life. So an artistic director typically handles most of the creative aspects, the casting, and creates the season of work, so the body of work.
And when is your seasons, and what's your upcoming show?
Okay, well, we just rolled out season 4. So we've been around for 3 years. Yes, we're very, very proud. Actually, March 7th is our birthday. We will be turning 3 years old. So we'll be singing happy birthday. And our season will start in May with, we just announced that we are the first professional theater company that will be taking over for 2 weeks the First Theater in downtown Monterey, which is California's first theater. They used to do vaudeville shows back in the day. And so now we're coming in there after a huge remodel that they just did. They got a grant for over $200,000 to remodel this historic property. And we are the first ones in there. So yes, it feels like a haunted little theater, but it is super cool. And that's where we'll be doing a play called an Iliad, which is the modern day retelling of the Trojan War. And it's a 2-woman show. Actually, we're doing it with 2 women, and it's going to be totally awesome. So follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll be able to keep up with all the latest and greatest of all the fantabulous things we do.
All right. Thank you so much, Justine, my mom. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for coming on to interview.
Oh my goodness, it's a dream come true. Thank you so much, daughter. Mwah.